Hey guys, welcome to my channel.
I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, welcome to episode 2.
Of what?
Cut.
Okay.
Sorry.
We ain't cutting. Ain't no cut.
Okay. Okay. Welcome to Two Hairstylists in a Podcast. This is episode 2. Today we're going to be talking about pricing.
Giving our unsolicited opinions on pricing. Because what do we know?
I think we know a lot.
We do.
We
do.
know a lot. So yes, today we're going to be talking about, just pricing, discussing undercharging and haggling with stylists, or, stylists overcharging and all those good things.
All those good things.
All those good things.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to dive in because I think pricing is definitely a touchy subject when it comes to like whether you're a client or a hairstylist, like setting your price, but then also, not wanting to be fair in your pricing, but also being fair with like your
Market value.
Yeah, market value, your skill level,
Do you have
like
another clip that I can
I gave you 2.
Sometimes I like to use 3. 2 in the front and 1 at the back.
Trying to set you up. I need 3.
I did need 3.
But
But why do you think that's what about pricing makes it touchy?
I just think people are just in general don't really like talking about money. So I think when it comes to a service, like sometimes people, like if your prices aren't clear, like, listed online where they could just go look and you have to inquire, like a lot of times I think that could be a little intimidating. But yeah.
But do you think it's selective when people don't like talking about money or pricing? Because I just, kind of thinking about other services or luxury items, because I do consider anything in the beauty industry to be a luxury item, regardless of the cost. Whether you're getting something more low end to high end, it's still a luxury service, something that you technically don't need to survive.
Right.
So I don't see a lot of what change. Like, what do you think? And I'm asking because I'm thinking of you saying it's a touchy subject. It's not touchy when you go to Louis Vuitton.
Well, I'm saying it's a touchy subject for some. Like for me, I've found ways to like navigate around that. Like for instance, if somebody be like, oh, I know you charge a lot, all this, and I'll just be like, well, what's your budget? And I can go from there.
Gotcha.
Like instead of me being like, oh, well, it depends on what you want. If you're gonna get this, it costs this much. Like we'll start with your budget first, and then I can tell you within that, like realistically, like what I can offer you, or if I can even offer you anything.
Right.
And I feel like that kind of relates to that video that we saw. I'll pull it up. Where the girl was like, she was basically saying her price and saying like what she wanted, but then also saying like, well, this is how much I want to pay. This is what I want, and this is how much I want to pay. Which, I mean, in theory, is not horrible, but it's more, I think it should boil down to, are you saying like, oh, I want to get this and how much does it cost? Or is it saying, oh, I see that you charge this much, but I want to pay this much for this, Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me play that.
Y'all, I just did something so out of character for myself and controversial, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm so tired of getting on Facebook groups and seeing clients asking for reasonably priced or affordable stylists and seeing stylists literally like vet themselves underneath of it. Like, you're not worth more than that. But today was the last straw. I'm gonna leave you a thread of something that a new client is requesting from Extension Artist. She wants 5 rows of extensions, wants to bring her own hair, is looking for a stylist that is going to do what she wants free move ups every 4 weeks, and only wants to pay $250. Know your worth. Understand that this is a luxury service, not a necessity, and charge accordingly for it.
Okay, I mean we can like stop it there. But so basically with
Dang, be still.
okay.
If you want your hair done, you need to act like it.
That's what see, and that's when them clients be moving and they be talking about you burn them.
You on the phone. You on a work call.
You on a work call. Now all of a sudden you burned and mad. So basically in a nutshell, the girl posted on Facebook she was looking for recommendations for a new stylist. She had moved from New York to Florida and said that in the post she said, you know, my old stylist only charged me $250 for my reinstall with no shampoo, and she offered free move-ups every 4 weeks. So what she was saying was like,
tell your old stylist to call me. No, just I need proof. No.
not even need proof. She needs a talking to. Because, girl. But yeah, so she wanted to basically pay that $250 for the reinstall and then come in 4 weeks for a free move-up and then $250 again for the next reinstall. And I'm just like, girl, first of all, I mean, I guess it's nothing wrong with her asking or putting it out there, but at the same time, like, girl, you could just ask for hair recommendations and sift through them and see who's like within your price range. Cause it's like, what are you expecting somebody to? Well, from what the hairstylist was saying, that people were in there trying to like sell themselves, like, you know, like, oh hey, I do hair, I can, you know, cause especially like as a new hairstylist, I could see someone trying to jump on that and be like, well, I just want a new client, so.
Absolutely, because I was never too good to be like, what's your budget? $50? Okay.
I can work with that.
If I needed to, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really see anything wrong with her asking. I do think it's a level of entitlement to ask. I don't see anything.
Yeah, because it's like, just because she charged you that, like, that could have been your homegirl that, you know, was giving you a discount, or, you know, you could have been going to, she said she had been going to her for 7 years. Like, she could have been giving you a discount for being grandfathered in, or, but 5 rows of extensions for $250 is ridiculous. Like, that's gonna take a long time. Not a long time, but more than $250 worth.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
I don't know. How would you respond?
I would first ask the client, like, if they came to me asking me that, like, hey, like, my old stylist used to charge this much, I would like let them know, like, oh, well, you know, like, my pricing is a little different, but, you know, with your budget being $250, like, these are the services that I can offer. Like, is that something that you're open to, or are you looking for, you know, this specific service? Because then that way we could get her into a service, like at that $250 mark, like we could see if she could work with like maybe increasing her budget a little bit more, and maybe get her in like a sew-in. It also depending on like her hair type and texture and density, and but just maybe trying to get her in a service that, you know, would make her happy, but also would fall more in line with like my pricing. And if she wasn't open to that, and I'll be like, well, you know, I wouldn't be able to accommodate that.
Yeah.
But good luck. Good luck, babes. How would you respond?
Similar to your answer, I would. Okay. How would I respond today? Like right now, today?
Yeah.
I honestly would just let her know that I could not accommodate her for what she's looking for.
You wouldn't even try to play that game of.
I would tell her if she wanted to, throw a few options out just within those messages, and if she were open to those, the other options that fit her budget, then we could move forward. But if she's stuck on what she wants for her budget, then I would refer her out and let her know that I wouldn't be able to accommodate her. And I think, obviously with any other stylist, I'm sure if you have the time and you need to get whatever client you can get in, then she'd be perfect. Like, I wouldn't turn her away.
Yeah.
But, just where I am and how busy my schedule already is, I don't have the bandwidth to really pull her in and say, okay, I could do that at your budget. It wouldn't be worth it for me.
So what would be a good, how should she have phrased her request differently to where you think that would fall a little more in line with your practices or your policies?
I don't think she could have said anything different.
Well, I mean,
The only thing that she could have done different is just find something that was within her budget to not have to ask. But I don't think she could have said anything. I appreciate the straightforward and this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. I think she could also say, hey, my budget is $250. Typically this is the service that I get, but I'm open to suggestions.
But she wasn't open to suggestions.
Right, that's why I was asking, like, what do you think that she could have said to have, like, a more positive response?
Well, I think my response was positive.
No, I'm talking about what the client could have said to receive, like, because, like, a lot of stylists would hear that and be upset that she's saying, like, oh, I'm coming to you saying, like, I want this, this, and this for this amount.
I don't think that's a reason for a stylist to be upset, because either you can do it or you can't. It's one of those things where if it's something that you can't accommodate, I wouldn't respond.
Right, but the whole point of the video was she was basically upset because she was saying that a lot of stylists are lowering their value to accommodate stuff like that. But I'm saying...
But that's subjective. But you're saying, okay.
I'm saying, like, what could the client have... Like, how could the client have rephrased that to get, like, a better response for... Because, like, yeah, we're saying that, like, okay, that's how we would respond. But, like, as a whole, a lot of stylists will probably look at that and be like...
Yeah, I don't think there's another way that she could have said it. I don't think it needed to be pacified in any kind of way. Like, say what you want.
True. And get the response you deserve.
And get the response you deserve. Because, like, I mean, as a stylist, why are you getting mad that other people are lowballing themselves?
I think for her specifically, she is, like, a coach when it comes to, like, hairstylist. Like, she helps people, like, build their brands and stuff like that. So I think that's why she was upset.
But I'm sure she's helping people that want to be helped, and it's not the people that are lowballing themselves.
Not necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily say that, because I feel like I know at my old salon there was a lot of stylists in there that was lowballing themselves, like, and I would really be sitting there like, why are you doing that? But, that's them. You know what I'm saying?
That's my sentiments. I'm like, I'm not looking at anybody who has picked their price in their head. They know, because I believe that,
But I think that also affects market price, too, when people are lowballing. Because, like, say if there's just in an area, say there's 20 stylists, and out of those 20 stylists, say 15 of them are willing to like do that lowball price, then that kind of like messes with the market rate. And it's like, yeah, you can still charge a lot, but people will be like, oh, well, I can still go here and say the person is the same skill level as you. They're gonna provide the same results, but they don't mind
Do you
lowballing
think
themselves.
someone who is similar, who has similar skills or at the same skill level as you would be lowballing themselves?
Yeah, I feel like there are people that do that now. Like, think about even shit ourselves sometimes. Like, with color. Like, sometimes we know, like, okay, this color gonna take me a minute to do, but it's also like, okay, well, you might not feel comfortable charging like $400 or $500 for a color when we know that's what it costs.
Right. I guess what the way I feel about it, I don't see anybody stopping me from. I don't see it affecting me.
See what affecting you?
Somebody lowballing themselves. But I do understand. I see how it could be.
I think in the larger scheme of things, because I think the more and more as more and more time goes on and the market gets more saturated and people are trying to compete and prices get lower and lower and the gap gets higher and higher, or like the gap between like our prices and then like somebody who might be charging lower prices gets like wider. I think that's where the separation starts to fall in, because it's like,
Well, now people would look at us
and be like, okay,
any
well, why
other
are they
stylist.
charging so much? And it's like, oh, well, I'm charging this much because, I have the experience and I'm paying more attention to detail. And they'll be like, oh, well, this girl, she's paying attention to detail too, but she charges $500 less than you. And it might be like, okay, like she's doing all that and she does a good job, but for instance, like she might not take care of your regular hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of like a trade-off. Like, okay, she might give you visually what you want, but the price point might not reflect that. But then at that point, that's when you kind of compare, like, okay, well, I see where the quality and the value comes in at, because, I'm paying this extra cost, but I'm seeing the benefit of paying more.
I could see that. I can see that. That makes sense. But back to the video, I definitely think that she asked the right question. She asked it how she needed to. But I do think that people need to understand. People need to understand that this is a luxury service. You're not going to go anywhere else and say, hey, can I get, my budget is $5. Can I get what you're selling for $5, even though I know it's $20?
Some people like to haggle.
I mean, and
I'm not finna haggle with you, but
I don't see anything wrong with it, because, I mean, shoot your shot. It could be a slow day for me.
No, not for me. I've done that before where I'm like, okay, like I'll throw a dog a bone.
And you regret it instantly.
Yeah, because then it's like, okay, now you come in with all this extra stuff. I'm tired. I don't want to be there. I'm not making the same amount that I would typically do. And then
it becomes a waste of time, which is why I said today, me, right now, if someone entered my inbox and said, hey, I have $250. I know your service is $400. Can you do it? I would probably say no. Offer a few other options, and if they decided to go with that, cool. If not, cool too. And send them on their way.
Go on now, get.
Shoot. But you get other services, like you get your hair done, facials, hair removal, all that. would you ever ask any of your service providers, given the relationship that y'all have, or even you just got a new braider, would you have thought to
Like ask her
ask
for
her?
a discount?
Yeah.
No, but also I was clear on the price before I came. And even when it came down to me like adding extra stuff, before she did that, I said, "How much is this gonna be?" Like I made sure.
Do you think that answer comes from you being a service provider? Or would you be that way anyway?
I think I would be that way anyways because I never really. I always just ask how much it is, and if I can't afford it, then that's
Either
that on
wait
that.
or-
The only
yeah.
time I'm haggling is when it's a haggle situation. Like if you're, where they expect you to haggle. Like where you're at, like, on vacation and the people are
When
trying
they say, I'll give it to you for $20.
and you'd be like, no,
18.
you'd be like, okay, 10. And I'd be like, okay, 6. You know what I'm saying? Like then, okay, yeah. But when it comes to like service providers, like I'm not gonna really ask you, because that's basically you're asking, hey, I know that, I want my hair done, but would you mind taking, food out of your mouth to make me look good? That's how I hear it when they say that. Because
That kind of got personal.
well, yeah, because if you think about it, like a lot of times people don't realize like this is the only way that like we make money. Like, and not only is it the only way that we make money, like we also have to pay to make money. Like we have to pay to sustain our suite. Like we have to pay for
Have to spend money to make money.
yeah, we have to pay for products, you know what I'm saying? So it's not just like, okay, we're giving you a discount. It's like, oh, like, hey, are you willing to go ahead and take food out of your mouth so
Don't
that
get me started. You know how I feel. And you say you playing with me and my kids.
okay. But because I had to explain it to a client one time that tried, she's been a client with me for a couple of years, so she's been through a couple of price increases, and I remember one time she had made a statement that was like, oh well, like I don't remember it being that much. I used to like pay this much for like me to make a wig, and so I said you probably so right. I said but look at it like this. I said, like, do your wigs look the same as they did 5 years ago? And she was like, no. And I said, oh, okay. I said, they look more natural, right? She was like, yeah. I said, the color's gotten better too, though, right? You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I was putting it like that. Like, yes, it's like, the service got better. The price got higher. You know what I'm saying? Like, but also, like, my knowledge got better. Like, I paid for education to, like, know, like, okay, well, this is going to give me like a better result, and in turn, like, that's going to cost you more.
Right.
But I'm also going to be like, even with the color, like I'm putting in more time than I would have before because I have the knowledge. Like before, it's like you try to find ways like, okay, how can I execute this? But it's like sometimes the way could be fast, but it's not as accurate. But you don't know that until you know it.
Right. So definitely experience.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you're 5 years into it, you're definitely not the same stylist, or shouldn't be, that you were at year 1. And my thing is, me as a client, I don't think I would ever ask either. I know I wouldn't ask. I just don't have. That's just not who I am, for one. I have a certain level of respect for people's time and money, especially when given a service. So I know I wouldn't ask. I would get what I can afford and keep it pushing.
I mean, that's exactly why I was getting my braids or doing my own braids for the longest time.
It was like, okay, I know I don't.
I don't want to do it, but
Right.
I also don't really want to, especially because I get my braids done so frequently. Like, it wasn't in my budget to be going to a braider. And especially, like, nowadays, like, to find a good braider at an affordable price is kind of hard.
Right.
Now, they do have fire braiders
But
where
are you going to have your edges? Some.
I think it depends who you go to because I know some really, really good braiders, and I do think that the price that they charge is worth it. But for me to be getting my hair done regularly, it's not worth it for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had the funds, like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna be spending, $300 a month, or more getting my braids redone. Whereas, like, for those type of braids, it's like more like, okay, I'm gonna get this for a special occasion.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't go to them and be like, hey sis, like if I start coming every 2 weeks, would you give me like a deal? And it's like, so you want to come more
Because
and
where's
pay
the
less.
deal? Yeah. I'm like, how is that a deal for me? That means I'm working more.
And getting paid less.
Yeah. Like I said, I wouldn't ask. I don't think I would ever ask. Do you consider your client's budget when pricing?
Not really. And I say that because I take more into consideration like how long it takes me to do stuff and my expertise. So like for instance, like the way I base my pricing is like by the hour. So like of course, I'm not going to sit here and tell my clients like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be this much an hour." But I base it off of the average time that it takes me to do something, like, give or take, like for instance, it'll take me on average 3 hours to do a sew-in. But sometimes might take less, might take more, but I base it off of that time. And so I'll base it off of the hour based off of like that. But it'll be all in one price. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or when it comes to color pricing, like I'll do it like by the hour plus the cost of the products. But also not, sometimes you'll run into, snags, like you'll run into like issues, but I'm not charging extra for that. I just charge based off of the average time that it would take me. Like for highlights, like it would usually take about 2.5 hours. And that's with me foiling, the processing time, the toning, and, the cost of the products. Do you consider your client's budget?
No, I don't. But I do try to stay within like market value.
Yeah, like stay
Looking
reasonable.
I wouldn't say reasonable.
I would say that our prices are reasonable for what we do. Like
I would say I just try to, I'm looking at my peers, I'm seeing the work that I do. Not that I'm basing it off of other stylists and what they do, but I'm thinking about the longevity of the hairstyle. I'm thinking about how long it takes. I'm thinking about my overhead. That's factored into it.
the quality.
The quality, of course. My experience in it. How long I've been doing it. And so, no, I do not base it off of their budget because I don't know what their budget is.
Yeah.
And I don't think it works that way.
It doesn't. And everybody's budget is different. So if somebody came in here and was like, if you were basing it off of everyone's budget, then it's like, okay, somebody could come in here with a $5,000 budget and you can be like, oh, it's going to be $5,000. And
Right.
then you can have somebody that's like, oh, I have a $500 budget. You're like, okay, it's $500. And
It's like, no,
what
it
changed?
It does not work that way. I also don't believe in charging people more just because they do have the budget.
more. Yeah.
I'd rather have you as a client forever that I know is gonna always be within my budget versus having.
Yeah.
Because I see that happen a lot too. Like some people know that they may have a client that has the budget.
Uh-huh.
And that's like,
And they try to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I know you have it, so.
But it's also like, I don't know, I would hate to be called out in like a situation where it's like, you sitting here like, oh yeah, you charged me more because, I had a higher budget. Then I go to your website and I see it's half the price.
Right.
Like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that?
That's actually awful.
Yeah, I would never. But yeah, I definitely think being honest about pricing.
I know we kind of both just touched on it as far as like what we consider when pricing.
Well, I think one, it depends on the type of service. Well, like, okay, so I guess if we just want to break it down, like types of service, like whether it's like an extension service, a color, like silk press, I don't know, haircut, wigs, like, I don't know. That's just like the main ones that I can think of. But like for instance, when you're thinking about extension pricing, it can like go into okay, well, the duration of time that it takes. Like the time that a sew-in is gonna take might not be the same amount of time that microlinks is gonna take because you have to factor in like, okay, if they're natural, you gotta silk press their hair out before you even do the install. So that's already like, 2 hours, just for the shampoo plus that, plus the install. That could be another 2 to 3 hours. Whereas like a sew-in is just 3 hours.
Right.
So I think when you think about
And that's
it,
also depending on,
the hair type,
right.
yeah. So I think all that kind of like,
How do you feel about charging based on the hair type
I wouldn't necessarily say based on the hair type.
or density?
Density and length, I personally don't, but sometimes I think it might be warranted because if it's like I would say give or take about 30 to 45 minutes on a service. Like after that, really is I would really even say 30 minutes. Like I would say I can allow for a 30-minute, overage. But I feel like after that, it's kind of like, okay, now it's taking me much more time. And it's not because I'm, moving slow. It's because I have to be a little more detailed because if your hair is super thick, like I have to do super tiny braids or it's going to be bulky.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, it's like,
You know what crossed my mind a lot when I think about pricing, like today's pricing versus old school pricing. When women are, I wouldn't say upset, but when they question why does a silk press cost as much as it costs now versus when it in 97, 98. And I don't think a lot of people realize that then we were getting relaxers and then getting your hair pressed out.
yeah, it didn't take
It
as
was
long.
easy to charge $60 and also take account for inflation. Everything is much more expensive than it was before. But
And also, I feel like the hair don't be looking the same.
no,
Like your silk press from
we
1999
were
is
all
not.
wrong for getting relaxers. Some of us were. We shouldn't. I should have never had a relaxer.
You shouldn't have.
You know my hair thin.
It's fine. Don't ever call it thin. That's self-hate.
My hair used to be stuck to my head, no movement, but it was straight.
Yeah, and you could get in and out of the salon in 20 minutes.
Slap that relaxer on, wrap it up, sit under the dryer, and your stylist could in 3 hours she could have did a roller wrap. 3 of them. Maybe 4, depending on how fast she is and how quick she can clink, clink, clack, clack.
But that's another thing to take into consideration with pricing too, your time. Like,
Right.
yeah, you were paying less, but you was there all day. So it's like, is that more important to you than I'm gonna say my time, because I honestly have been an appointment only probably since like right out of college. Like even when I was going to get my haircut, like I always was doing appointment only. Like when I was in college, of course I went to like the barbershops where you just go. you try to go early enough, and you just wait.
That's still so. I mean, it's not as new as it was. I mean, it's not. That's not. It's not new now, but
For barbers,
no,
or just
for just getting your services by
booking
appointment only.
appointments?
Yeah,
I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm saying it's not new to do that now, but then it was kind of like
You're talking about back when I was
walk-ins.
doing it?
No, I'm saying
Oh, like back in
Back
the
in the
day.
day,
When I
like-
was young, I'm not a kid anymore.
back in the day there weren't many people doing appointments only.
Oh, true that. Yeah.
So
Or it's not even that. I feel like when I think about hair salons, like they would do appointments, but they also would be double, triple booked.
so now you get to pay for
Convenience.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
We pay for a lot of convenience these
Yeah.
days. We're DoorDashing,
And
we're
privacy.
ordering our groceries. We have ride shares. Convenience is a new cost.
Yeah,
It's an
and
added cost for everything now.
I also think privacy too, depending on like the type of salon you're in too. Because some people don't like, they feel a little vulnerable when their hair. I mean, I feel vulnerable when my braids are out. I'll be like, look, I don't want nobody to see me.
Looking like Cynthia.
That is so rude. But yeah, so it's like, they want to be in the privacy of, when they're getting the privacy of just them and the stylist when they're getting their hair done. But also, that's also going to be a little more expensive. Not necessarily, but, I think now it's going to be a little more common than
Do you
not.
think having salon suites cause pricing?
I never thought
to
about that
increase?
actually. I would say yes, but also because stylists started to incur like a higher overhead. Because when you think like to those like open space salons, like, I mean, I don't know how much they was paying, but I know it's got to be less. It's got to be significantly less than like what we pay.
You think so?
A girl, we pay rent for like an apartment, like a nice luxury apartment. You know what I'm saying? It's small, a small apartment, but it's luxury.
It's a one
It's a
bedroom.
high rise. It's in a high rise.
Might be a what do you call it? A what's it when it's no bedroom? I don't know why. I just
Oh, a
went
studio.
blank. A studio. Yeah.
Yes, but I'm sure they wasn't paying that for a booth. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think? I mean, booth rent was at least. I've done booth rent one time, and I was spending. Should I say the price?
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I was spending $125 a week.
That is not nothing. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's cheap. So, you know what I'm saying? So the overhead is definitely like we paying triple
I actually
that now.
missed that now that I think about it.
Okay, we're paying 3 times that now. It's like, okay,
Like,
look,
what
can you
is
give me
going
that
on?
information? I actually might check that out and see
You'd
what
be
they
miserable.
talk. See what they talking about.
It didn't last long,
Ew.
so it's worth what we're doing now.
Yeah, but also I think just not only with like having to pay like the overhead, but also like I think just with the dynamic of like having that appointment only changing too, because it's like, okay, from my perspective, like you could take just, as an example, like you could take 4 clients, book them all, back to back to back, have somebody under the dryer, have somebody, waiting in the West Wing, like, you know what I'm saying? And say, for instance, you're charging them all $50, right? So you made $200. Whereas, say, for instance, if you split that up and it was like, okay, well, I wouldn't even say split it up, because you could, I don't know, my analogy isn't making sense, because you could, what I'm saying is, you could
What you saying?
You could separate the clients, like have them come in at their set appointment times, like not overlapping, and still make the same amount of money and still spend the same amount of time doing them. But the customer experience will be better because they're not waiting all day. And in turn, they might be more inclined to spend more money. Because at that point, it's like, you're still getting your hair done, but you also don't have to sit in the salon for, 8 hours when it's really only supposed to be 2 hours.
Yeah.
But then again, that also goes into what are you willing to put up for or put up with, or what do you feel like is, worth the price?
It.
Yeah.
What do you deem worthy for your dollar?
So how do you go, or what are some things that you take into consideration when pricing?
My experience, for one, and the time that I put into it.
Like the duration of the service?
Yes. I have never thought about a client's budget. I've only tried to make sure whatever it was that they are spending, that it's worth, that they leave feeling happy. I never want them to leave feeling like they have buyer's remorse. So the reason I say the time that I put into it in my experience, I would expect that you leave getting exactly what you pay for.
I feel the same way.
So aside from, what did I say, time, experience, location, overhead, I said that. I think I already said that earlier. Yeah. But are we missing anything else?
Well, I mean, I was gonna go more into also like even color pricing. Like a lot of people don't realize that people think when it comes to like extensions and coloring extensions, like it should be the same price as if they were getting their natural hair done. And I think that it's a misconception that, it's it should be the same price because, I don't know what they'd be thinking, honestly. But I think I think when people are setting their prices around extensions, I think it makes it difficult to like stand firm in like the pricing that it actually is because of the market value. Like, and sometimes I find myself having to like sit here and explain like the difference, like why it's costing so much. Like,
so you're saying that coloring extensions cost more than coloring natural hair?
I wouldn't even say that, but you got to think like if your natural hair is to your shoulders and a natural density, and I can color your hair with one tube of color, whereas like you have 3 bundles of 30-inch hair, that's that's like 300 grams of,
which anybody you're having to explain that to is playing in your face, because
I don't necessarily think so, but I don't think people really have an understanding of like when you're comparing like, okay, if your natural hair was that long and that dense, like it would cost you a bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I feel like anybody that you're having to explain that to.
Well, I don't think they can understand that because they don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like their natural hair isn't that. So it's kind of hard to comprehend, I think, sometimes. Not for everybody, but I think, and especially like if you're not used to getting color, like.
So it wouldn't matter if it was just you coloring their natural hair or their, it wouldn't matter if you were coloring their natural hair or the extensions. You're saying you just have to explain it to them because they're not familiar.
Yeah, because like it could take, like just like I said, it could take you one tube of color, for an example, to color your natural hair. But then with the extensions, like it might take me 3 or 4 tubes of color, and it's also going to take me twice the amount of time because the hair is thick. You got to make sure it's saturated. And I don't necessarily think that people think about that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's, just about educating the client and kind of letting them know, like, well, this is why it costs so much.
Right.
But even, like, with blonding, Like going from dark to blonde, like it's like, okay, well, it's gonna take me maybe like an hour and a half to just apply the bleach. And then I gotta sit around for another hour and a half for it to process.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
That's almost a 4, 5, 6 hour day.
yeah. And then it's like, but then people will be like, oh, I just want to pay like $200. And it's like, well,
I can give you a wrench.
a wrench.
You want a wrench? But yeah.
I think also even with wig making, like think about the time that goes into wig making that like, and especially when it comes to custom wigs.
Well, that's why I said, like, I think a lot of people get confused as far as like what today's pricing is versus in the late 90s, early 2000s, how it's changed, because our services take longer. Everybody's natural. Do you have any relaxed clients? I think I may have one that she probably runs a relaxer through.
I've finally converted like the last client that would like relax her edges. I converted her to a Kiki treatment. And
So even with that, now that's even more. That's more time.
I mean, but it's not.
She doesn't have to do it every time. But
Oh no, we do it every like 6 months.
Right.
Yeah,
But you see what I'm saying? Like it's still taking more time than what it was before.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's another thing to factor. That's what when we say time, that's what has caused today's styles to go up.
I wouldn't even necessarily say just time. I mean, definitely time as a factor, but also like the technology too. Like think about the technology of today's sew-ins versus the sew-ins that we was doing 10 years ago. Like it's not the same.
What's the difference? Because we're using the exact same thing.
I think techniques evolved. I mean, yeah, we're using like even think about braids, like how the braids evolve, like from knots to knotless. Like
Listen, I heard a girl say, "Put the knot back in."
I did hear that. I did hear somebody say that.
Somebody said these knotless braids don't last. Put the knot back in.
They look better.
They
though.
want the Moesha braids, okay?
So give me the momos. But yeah, so even when you think about, like when you break down the price of a wig, and you think about, look at, when I say like market saturation and like,
Something kind of came out.
huh?
I need a rake comb.
Okay, well when you get to that point, I'll hand it to you. But I forgot what I said now that you interrupted me to check out your cross.
I won't say anything else.
Don't say nothing else. I was talking about like the wig pricing. Like think about all the, like I've seen people who do good work, like when it comes to wig making, like they'll do it on the sewing machine, and you know granted they probably won't be using like Indian hair, they'll probably be using like Brazilian hair or something, but they'll still like be so inexpensive. Like when I tell you, it'd be like almost like I can't believe it. Like they'll be like $300, like 28-inch wig, and it looks good. Like you know what I'm saying? Like now, granted, I don't know when it comes to like fit and all that stuff, but you know some people don't care about that, which that's fine.
Would you go to somebody who was cheaper, but would you?
I feel like that's the question that we asked last time.
That I'm about to get. No, I'm not about to. Let me finish.
Okay.
Because I wasn't about to say that. If you saw somebody's work and it was good, but they were really cheap, like what if you went and got braids and it was $40, but on Instagram it looks good, or on their portfolio, website, whatever, their pictures look good, but it's $40. Are you going to be alarmed or are you going to go?
I mean, I would try it, but I don't know. I feel like I would need a referral, like somebody
No
who
referral.
went there. I would
You're
need,
just looking at the price and the work that they've posted on their website, Instagram, everything from there. So you're saying you'd still try it. Like the price wouldn't be alarming to you.
it would definitely be alarming to me. I'm like, why is it so cheap? But
But you try it.
I would have to go scope it out first.
How are you gonna
I would-
scope it out? You gonna hang outside the ladies'
Yeah,
suite?
see what she doing.
You gonna be?
I'm like, I'm with
Her client's
TDLR.
gonna be walking out and you like, excuse me, come here.
How was your service on a scale of 1 to 10?
Now you be like, let me see your hair.
Scalp pulsing. Okay, braids tight than a mother. Like,
But I said that to say like, when you say talk about people who lowball themselves, do you think that also it scares a certain client away because she's like, nah, even though that looks good, that's too cheap.
yeah, I think it definitely would scare a certain client away. Like, but I was saying that more to say like they're lowballing their price on wigs, and then I feel like when clients see that, they kind of are wondering, like it's almost like I have to explain the justification as to why mine is so much more expensive, which I don't mind doing, but it's kind of like
Oh, can we role play?
sure, you always want to role play.
Okay. Okay. This time you can be the stylist.
Okay.
Okay. This is my consultation. Go.
What's good, sweetie? What you want?
You know what?
What's good,
That's
ma?
okay.
What's up, mama?
Don't worry about it. Go.
Okay, what you want me to say?
You're the stylist. This is my wig consultation.
Okay, so how come last time when I was the client, I had to come to you with my grievance, but now
because
I'm
you
the
were
stylist and I have to
complaining.
come
I'm not
to you?
complaining. I'm in a consultation.
So, okay, so this is a wig.
This is a wig consultation.
Yeah. Okay. So, hi, welcome to your consultation. What were you thinking of doing?
So I want to get 26 inches closure wig, custom made with brown base, highlights all over. I don't want them chunky. I just want like them thinly sliced. I've had it before. My last stylist, she did it about 3 years ago, and she's made me several wigs since then. And usually I only wear like 26-inch hair. Sometimes I'll do 24, and I also like it to be I also like long layers. And I'm looking for you to do it for about $700. I usually pay like $600, but I have a budget of $700.
Okay. So is that $700 including the
Everything. Hair, wig construction, and color, and install.
Okay. Well, with that price, what we can do is we can't construct a custom wig, but what you could do is you could purchase a pre-made wig.
I've never worn those. My head is kind of small, so they never fit. I actually would need a.
That's totally understandable. But within your budget, what we could do is you could order one of those pre-made wigs, and I could, adjust it to kind of fit your head. Now, it's no guarantee that it's going to fit as good as a custom wig.
Yeah,
but
so I wouldn't even want to try it because, like I said, my head is kind of small and I like the snug fit of it being customized.
Okay, well, then you might want to go get you one of them dome cap wigs off of Instagram. Because that's going to be suction to your head if you want it snug fit.
Okay, can you make me a dome cap wig then? Is that cheaper?
Oh, I don't do dome cap wigs. And it's not.
Well, what do you do for $700?
For $700, you could get the wig made, and you could probably do a basic color, probably without a single process color.
And I could still do 26 inches.
Oh, that would not be including the hair. Sweetie, that's just the service. That's why I said, baby, I don't think I'm at the price point for you. If you're open to doing something else, like maybe if you would like to take apart one of your other wigs, you could possibly do that, and that could save you a little bit. But if not, then I can't work with that budget. Yeah. Good day. I said good day.
We're not done.
Oh, you're done. And scene.
This ain't over. I'm gonna go on Instagram.
Go on Instagram so you can get you a little dome cap wig.
Nope.
For
So I
$200?
can blast you and tell
Or,
everybody
you know
how
what?
you don't give a damn
Just go to
about what I want.
Just go on TikTok and order one of them TikTok wigs.
No,
that'll
thank
last
you.
you for a month.
I wanted a custom wig by Victor Canardi, and I don't have one right now.
Well, we do accept Afterpay if you would like to do that. That way you could probably pay that $700 over 4 payments.
Nah, my Afterpay don't work no more. I would be pretty pissed if I was your client.
But why though? Because I'm not taking food out of my mouth to accommodate you?
Yeah.
That's really wild. That is really.
That's how dumb y'all sound. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Like, that escalated quickly.
That's crazy.
Dang, that role playing was actually good because we can really show them how dumb they sound.
Because I like to do it like just like that too. Like, well, you know, go to Wigs by Wanda over there.
Why I gotta be Wanda?
I mean, because it just has a.
You said Ray Ray last time, and now you saying
Okay, but
Wanda.
W&W, Wigs by Wanda, Wigs by
Juanita.
Not Juanita. That's a J. But yeah.
That is a J. But it's a W sound.
But yeah, if that's what you want to do, but no, I'm not gonna be able to.
As for me.
As for me. And then so then when you think about like the question that we asked on Instagram, like if the client says like, oh, this is my budget, or I know you charge this much, but my budget is this much, like how are you responding? Like I saw someone say, that she's never done that, like as a client, she's never done that, but she could see like, everybody falls on hard times, but she was basically saying like, if you fix your mouth to like ask someone for that, like what are you bringing in return? Like, and she was basically saying like, if you want to ask for a discount, like at least have something to barter with. Be like, hey, like, I want you to do my hair, but blah, 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 but I could do this for you. Granted, like that's not the ideal situation, but at the same time, like at least they're offering something in lieu of what they can't, in lieu
But
of.
asking a brand new stylist is wild.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
You're already.
I would say that would be more for someone who you have a rapport with.
Yeah.
Not like going to a new stylist.
Because if I'm being honest, if one of my regular clients came to me and they had, for whatever reason,
you would be more inclined.
I would definitely figure out a way to help them.
Yeah, but that's also because you have that rapport with them. And, it's not like they just trying to be like, oh, let me just come and try to get over. It's like, okay, they just need.
Although this may be a little bit off topic, but maybe not so much. But when I'm thinking about pricing and your clientele and who your ideal client is, honestly, they will never ask you that.
I agree.
I've had several clients that have, for whatever reason, I may not have fit in their budget. And once I don't see them for some time because of the rapport that we have, I may check on them like, hey, girl, you good?
Like, what's
Yeah, well, XYZ, this has happened in my life, so I just have not been able to come.
Yeah.
And I've even extended well, girl, you're one of my regular clients. If you need something, let me know. And my client responded with, I would never ask you for that. I appreciate the offer, but I will be in when I can afford your services. I 1000% respect that so much.
That is so.
And it's very telling of the clientele that you do have and the level of respect that they have for you. So although
You sound like you're about to cry.
The hairspray is really getting to me at this point. We need to open a window. But although I understand that people fall on hard times, I do look at it as being slightly disrespectful to even fix your mouth to ask, hey, can you do this? Or hey, can you do that for me for this price, regardless of the rapport that you have with the stylist? Because
at the end of the day, you're saying, can you take food out of your mouth to help me get my hair laid?
Exactly.
For a luxury service that I don't need but want?
And how would you feel if your employer said, hey, can you come into work even though we can't pay you right now for exactly what you are doing? Or I can't pay you overtime, or I want you to stay overtime and I can't pay you at all. You wouldn't like that.
That's so funny. That's what I was going to say earlier about my client when she was saying like, oh, well, like, I used to pay this much. So when I had told her, I said, you know, at your job, I said, have you been making the same amount of money for the last 5 years? And she tried to be smart and be like, yeah. And I said, well, baby, you need to get a new job, first of all. But I said, but I'm sure that every year you get a rate.
Not her employer caught a stray.
Okay. But I said, like, I was like, every year I'm sure that you get a raise from your job. You know what I'm saying?
She's like, actually, I haven't.
And that's why you need a new job. Because that's wild if you're not. If you're making the same amount of money 5 years straight from the same job is wild. But yeah, I kind of explained it like that, and she kind of understood it a little better when I said it like that, because I was just like, you know, like whenever I'm doing a price increase, it's like, it's not just because like, oh, I just want to make more money, but it's also like stuff got more expensive. I got better. I put more time into like what I'm doing, and the quality of like what you're getting is higher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that all reflects in the price increase. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with you when you say like with your employer, it was like, oh, can you stay at work a little bit longer? But we're not gonna pay you though.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same. It's
that
the
is
same.
Actually, because technically our clients keep us employed.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of the same thing that you were kind of saying, like about like when you're spending extra time on clients. It's like, yeah, like I'm not charging you, but at the same time, like I might need to. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like just an over, like just like too much extra time. Like, you know, more than 30 minutes. It's kind of like, okay, at this point, it's like, if I'm having to double my time, like I should be compensated for that, you know? Because I still could do it in the same amount of time, but it's not going to be as good. You got to pick, you know, they say when they say like pick one, or you can pick either fast and good, fast, good, or cheap, but you can only pick two. So you can do fast. Oh no, wait, that's not right.
Because I'm like, duh, fast and good.
Look, I don't know what it is. I don't have to explain myself to you.
Could you imagine like giving a consultation and like, look,
you want it or not? There have been times where I've kind of felt like that, where I'm like explaining like kind of like when clients have unrealistic expectations for stuff, and you kind of just, that's when you kind of get to the point where it's like, okay, do you want it or not? Like, oh, come on. Bounce to it, bounce to it, bounce to it, bounce. Shake, baby, shake to shake, 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 shake. Twist, baby, twist. Twist it, that thing. Twist that thing.
Y'all, this wig look like Beyonce.
No, that looks like Tina.
This looks like Beyonce.
It looks like Miss Tina Knowles.
Comment down below and let me know if
it looked like Tina or Beyonce.
Tina or Beyonce. But yeah. Oh, you know what? Okay, so I can't pull it up because I can't find it, but there was a post like a while back that between two people. I guess it was like on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. And the girl was like, she was pretty much upset because she saw that her stylist got a new car.
Yeah, that pocket watching is weird.
And she said, I wish I could find it. I so should have been prepared and had it ready. But she said, like, she felt some kind of way. Like, I am not paying you to go buy a new house and a new car.
Which is really weird because a lot of people think like, oh, you only charging that much so that you can go and get those things. And it's like, no, I'm doing with my paycheck the same thing that you do with your paycheck. Whatever
Imagine
I
your
want.
employer being like, oh, no, we paying him too much.
No, I saw he went and got a new car. I don't
He
know.
got a
We
new
don't have to
car.
cut
I don't
that.
like that.
I do not like that. Pulling up in the parking lot with his little his new Honda Accord.
Like, I would be so excited if I saw my lash tech or my nail tech and they had a new car or...
Sure.
It
Not me. I'm gonna be like, they charging too much. If they got money to go buy a new
So
Porsche.
this is why you went up last week.
So this is no. That's
You wanted
really,
me to buy you wanted
that
me
is
to buy
really-
your you wanted me to help you with your down payment.
That's really what people be thinking. Like they really think that.
Yeah, because your one service definitely bought me a new house and a new car. And a new bag.
It did. It
And
did.
a new wig.
It did.
And my vacation. Your one service. It did that.
It did.
It
And
did.
I won't be back because I'll be damned if you going on vacation on my dime.
You gonna be poor messing with me.
Yeah, I think people just need to not worry about what I'm doing with the money after you give it to me.
Right.
Did you get your service and were you satisfied? Were you happy?
Were you happy?
Were
Is the
you
question.
happy?
But yeah.
I don't think I got anything else to say about pricing. You ain't got to worry about
Get the money. Don't forget to get the money. When you get the money, bring me the money.
Okay. In that order.
But to conclude pricing, here are my closing thoughts.
Come on, closing statements.
Any beauty service you get, whether you're getting your hair done, your nails done, facials, laser, eyelashes, what else am I missing? All of it. Injections, Botox, whatever. Those are services that you do not need to survive. So we do not have to be within your budget. You find the stylist that fits your budget and that can give you the style, the service that you are looking for. And you go from there. But I don't think I should have called these out. But to demand a certain price or even complain about a certain price is outrageous. It's honestly disrespectful, inconsiderate, all the things. I'd rather you just not go to the stylist if it's not within your budget or if you don't feel like it's worth it. Can we stop getting online talking about what's not worth it? And I'm not paying $100 for a silk press. We know, sis, because it's stiff. It's greasy.
No, that's when you hit him with that. I can tell.
You didn't have to say.
But then you an asshole if you say that. But
But you over here saying, I'm not paying, a sew-in should only be $250. I can tell. It was giving baby bop at the top.
I mean, I feel like people have said that similar thing to me when they'd be like, well, why would I pay, $1,200 from a wig from you when I can go to, wherever.
Go there.
No, and that's the thing. And they do, and then they see, like, because they're like, okay, here's the prime example. It's not necessarily something that that I did, but so I had a client who was looking for a specific texture of hair, right? And I told her exactly where to go get it. I personally didn't sell that texture, but I knew a place that sold is the best, right? So I sent
It
her.
must have been D hair.
No.
Oh.
And so I sent her there, and I was like, look, before you go, I'm gonna let you know, the hair is expensive. When I say expensive, $250 a bundle. Yeah, it's
That
kind
wasn't
of
yummy either.
no. They ain't paying me, and I'm not saying the name, so you can stop asking. But you know, I still refer people there, but I'm not giving them no public, you know.
See, that's ugly. That's giving that client energy. He said they ain't finna buy a house on my watch.
They not. But so I told her to go there. She didn't. Her friend said, "Oh, I don't know why you spend that much on there." She was like, "I got my hair from this place, and it's so good and all this and all that." I said, "Okay." She got her hair from that. She got her hair from the same place. She came in. I said, "Why didn't you get it from the place I told you?" She said, "Oh, my friend, she had got this hair and she liked it." I said, "Okay." We installed it. When I tell you, I had to use this. I had to use the Marcel. It was kinky straight hair. I had to use the Marcel just to get it straight. Cause the flat iron would not even. And even with that, like it still was like swelling up. I say all that to say, she, a second time, got it from a different place. And when she got it the second time, I said, "Why didn't you just go to the place I told you?" She said, "Oh, well, my friend, she tried this one, and she was like, the other hair is so expensive." I was like, "Okay." She got it. She hated it. Third time's a charm. She said, "I'm going to listen to you." She ordered it from the place, and she loved it. And I said, "Now, you could have saved all this money if you would have just listened to me in the beginning when I told you to go here. Because now you done spent about 2 or 3 times the amount and on stuff that you don't even like."
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but it just...
But I was tuned in.
Oh, yeah, this is cute. This is much... I cut it a little bit more from the last time that I styled it. Because the layers were not giving the face... I was trying to do like a... like some soft layering to kind of show people the difference in...
You're killing me combing with this.
Why?
With this rat tail.
You don't like it?
No.
You
I
want me
you
to
to comb with...
a wide tooth?
Yeah.
That's not the look I was going for, though. So I think if you want to did you need a wide tooth? I mean, if you wanted, that's all you had to say.
No, I just need a little product.
Okay, I think there's an Armstrong down the street.
Oh, I don't need a wide tooth. I use my fingers.
I could tell. What if we just start saying that to people just every time they say something? I could tell.
So, I think that concludes our second episode of
Pricing. You little expensive, little miss expensive. I'm basically your clients is putting your kids through school. Run and tell that.
Thank you.
They be like, "Oh no, I seen your kid just got all this stuff for Christmas. You ain't got to worry about me."
You ain't got to worry about me. Don't think I'm coming back. Y'all just went to Disneyland? Disney World?
I paid for that.
Huh.
With my silk press.
And it's always...
It's always a silk press, girly.
This concludes our... Because you gonna get me started. This concludes our second episode of Two Hairstylists and a Podcast. Thank you for watching. If we missed anything, feel free to comment below. Give us your thoughts. And
that's it?
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, we'll see you in 2 weeks, here where we always are. I have this beautiful wig for sale. She is a luxurious 26-inch beauty. And she's available for purchase on my website at follicleextensions.com under wigs. So go ahead and scoop her up.
What's her name?
I ain't gonna lie, I forgot. I did name.
Can I name her?
No, she's already named.
She's already on the site.
You know what? Let me see. I'm gonna tell you really quick what her. Oh, I can't look that quick actually. Yeah, but she is already on the site, but I forgot her name. I gave them all French names.
Oh, okay.
And I had to I was running out of French names that I knew, so I had to look some up. So, but yeah, this is so cute actually. See, this is how I wanted it styled for the shoot. This is cute. But one thing about me, I'm gonna run a brush through I hate when well, I don't hate it, but it's funny when my clients get their hair done and I'd be like,
Something went wrong with the front.
huh?
Something went wrong with my front a little bit.
It's because you're trying to just use your fingers. You're not using a controlled thingy thing. But and my curling iron broke halfway through while we were styling too.
It broke.
Yes, it's like dang-a-langin', okay? So T3.
I really
if
like how you said dang-a-langin'.
So T3, if you guys are listening, my curling iron just popped off, and that's wild. I need a replacement, please, and thank you. She's a dang-a-langin'.
Okay, so you told them where they can get yours from.
Yep.
Again, mine is not for sale. This is for one of my gorgeous clients already. But if you want one like it, you can follow me on Instagram at Hair by Margot Ryan. Click the link in my bio, book a consultation, and get one like it if you love it.
Oh, they gonna love it, cause that's Beyonce. Remember, allegedly.
Oh, I thought it was Tina.
That's why I said allegedly.
Oh, okay. I don't know, the way you swung it back, it was giving Ike.
Not giving Ike. Oh, first of all, I was about to say. Oh, it's fitting kind of. I thought it was sitting up, but. Hey, wig.
That's cute. I think you should start wearing wigs.
I think you're trying to be funny.
I'm really not trying to be funny. I like it a lot. It's giving luxury law. La Roche.
No.
Oh.
You're trying to set me up.
I'm really not.
Anyways, guys, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
You got to work it, walk, but work it, yeah, you work it, walk, but work it, you got to work it, walk, but work it, yeah, you work it, walk.